Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce myself. My name is Aceh Priyatna, student ID 184010015. And my friend,
Is Ivan Jamaluddin. My student ID is 184010-61.
uh, I will present crafting the service environment. Slide 1. Content of presentation. Number 1. The purpose of service environment. Number 2, the theory behind consumer responsible service environment. Number 3, dimension of the service environment. Number 4, putting it all together. Purpose of service environment. Number 1, set customer experience and their behavior. Point 1, message creating medium. Symbolic those to communicate the destination, nature, and quality of the service experience. Point, point 2, attention creating medium. Make service stand out from competition and attack customers from target segment. Point 3, effect creating medium. Use color, texture, sound, skin, and spatial design to enhance the shared service experience. Number 2, support image, positioning, and differentiation. Number 3, part of the value proposition. Number 4, facilities service encounter and exchange productivity. Service cap as part of value proposition. Point 1. Physical surrounding helps shape a feeling and reaction in customer and employees. Point 2. Service caps from a core part of the value proposition. Beyond 3. Consider all the different stimuli that help to create the total luxury spa experience. The transformation rate at Universal Studios. This is example to image. Okay, next slide. The theory behind customer responses to service environment. Herderian result stimulus response model. Point 1, simple yet fundamental model of how people respond to environment. Point 2, the environment is conscious and unconscious perfection and imperfection influence how people feel in that environment. Point 3, feelings rather than perfection or through drive behavior. Point 4, typical outcome variable is approved or avoidance of an environment, but other possible outcome can be added to model. Result model of effect. Point 1, emotional responses to environment can be described along two main dimensions. Pleasure, direct, subjective, depending on how much individual likes or dislike environment. Arousal, how stimulated individual feels. Defense relies on information read or load of an environment. Point 2, emphasize simplicity allow a direct assessment of how customers feel. Firms can set target for effective states. Driver of affect. Point one, affect can be caused by perfection and cognitive process of any degree of complexity. Point two, the more complex a cognitive process becomes, the more powerful its potential impact on affect. Point three, more surface encounters are retinue and simple process can determine affect. Point four, it's the simple cognitive process that determines how people feel in service setting. Point five, if higher level of cognitive process are set up, the impression of this process determine people feelings. Behavioral consequence of affect. Point one, pleasant environment result in approves, whereas unpleasant ones result in avoidance. Point two, arousal amplifies the basic effect of pleasure on behavior. If environment is pleasant, increasing arousal can generate excitement, leading to stronger positive consumer response. If environment is unpleasant, increasing arousal level will move customer into the distressed region. The service cap model, point one, identifies the main dimension in a service environment. Ambient condition, speech or functionality, symbolism, and advocate. Point two, people perceive them as a whole. K effective design is how well each individual dimension fit together with everything else. Point four and last point. Internal customer and appliance responses can be categorized into cognitive, emotional, and psychological responses which lead to observable behavioral response toward the environment. Okay, the next person, my friend Ipan Jamaludin.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this session, I will continue the presentation from my friend. This content is dimension of the surface environment. Okay, the first is impact of ambient condition. Ambient environment is composed of hundreds of design elements and details must work together to create desired service environment. Ambient conditions are perceived both separately and holistically and included lighting and color scheme, sounds, sound and such as noise and music, size and shape, air quality and temperature. Okay, next, the next is impact of music. In several settings, music can have powerful effect on perception and behaviors, even if played at barely audible levels. Structural characteristics of music, such as tempo, volume, and harmony, are perceived holistically. Fast tempo music can Fast tempo music and high volume music increase arousal levels. People tend to adjust their pace either voluntarily or involuntarily to match the tempo of music. Careful selection of music can deter wrong type of customer. Now the next is impact of scents. An ambient smell is one that pervades an environment, may or may not be consciously perceived by customer. not related to any particular product. Next is scents have distinct characteristic and can be used to obtain emotional, physiological, and behavioral responses. In several settings, research has shown that scents can have significant effect on customer perception, attitude, and behaviors. The next is impact of color. Color have a strong impact on people's feeling. Color can also be defined into three dimensions, and that is hue. Hue is the pigment of the color. Value. Value is the degree of lightness or darkness of the color. And chroma that refer to hue intensity, saturation, or brilliance. The next point is research has shown that in service environment, despite differing color preference, people are generally drawn to warm color environment. Warm color, warm color encourage fast decision making and are good for low involvement decision or impulse buys. Cool color are preferred for high involvement decision. Okay, the next is impact of sign, symbols, and artifact. Communicate the firm, help customer find their way, let customer know the service script. First time consumer will automatically try to draw meaning from the sign, symbol, and artifact. Challenge is to design such that this guide customer through the service delivery process, and unclear signal from a service script can result in anxiety and uncertainty about how to proceed and obtain the desired service. Okay, next is people are part of the service environment. Appearance and behavior of both service personnel and customer can strengthen impression created by service environment or weaken it. For employees, once they are dressed up, they must perform in their parts. For customer, marketing communication may seek to attract those who appreciate the service environment and are also able to enhance it by their appearance and behavior. In hospitality and retail settings, newcomers often look at existing customers before deciding whether to patronize the service firm. The next is content of putting it all together. Okay, the first point is selection of the environment, selection of the environmental design element. The first one is consumer perceive service environment holistically, design with a holistic view. Servicescape have, have to be in holistically, no dimension of design can be optimized in isolation because everything depends on everything else. Holistic characteristic of environments make designing service, environment, and art must design for from a customer perspective. Okay, the next is tools to guide service design. There's a few points here. The first one is keen observation of customer behavior and response to the service environment, management, supervisor, branch manager, and frontline staff. The next is feedback and ideas from frontline staff and customer using a broad array tools from suggestion boxes to focus group and survey. The next is photo audit as ask customer to take photograph of their experience, and these are used as basis for further interviews or included as part of survey experience. Field experiments can be used to manipulate specific dimension in an environment and the effect observed. And the last one is blueprinting, extended to include physical evidence in the environment.
Okay, thank you. So much for the percentage of use. Sorry if there is something wrong from we. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.